everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel at Home and Farm with Dotty, where this is the place for your content on homesteading and homemaking. In fact, if you have not learned anything so far, if you have not gotten anything so far, I hope this one will give you some information that you have been looking for, because I'm always striving to give you just what you are looking for. Welcome to the vlog. My name is Dotty, and in this vlog today, I will be sharing with you how much land you actually need in order to homestead. Personally, where I sit is a small homestead in the urban setting, 50 by 70 in size. And as you can see behind me, there is a long wall. Along this wall, actually the length of it up to the end at the gate area is my length of the land or the piece of plot that I have. And the other stretch or the width is also almost the same. So, and today I want to delve into the question of how much land does one need in order to homestead safely, peacefully, without congestion, and without squeezing themselves in with the animals. Okay, karibu. First and foremost, it is important for you to know that you don't need acres, very many acres of land in order to have the homestead business going on. You simply need to come up. Sorry about that, guys. You simply need to come up with a proper structure that can accommodate all your birds, okay? Like the one I showed you in my videos, previous videos. And you also need to know, if your space is not very big, then the chicken coop should not be so big, okay? And it should also not be so squeezed, especially if you have just the number of birds that you can accommodate. Like I showed you in my previous videos, the chicken coop that I have can accommodate about 60 birds, and that's just it. You will also need a backyard area where, if you want your chickens to be free range, then you will need a backyard space. So consider putting your house in a place where there will still be left space for the birds to roam around. Okay? Another thing that you need to consider is, if you have a shady area or a cool area in the homestead, that is the area that you target for your birds to rest, to feed, because sometimes, like for me, I stay in a very hot area, so I have to designate a special place for the birds to cool themselves off and to rest, because there's a lot of stress. Some of the diseases in the birds are caused by stress. So providing comfort for the birds actually relieves them stress, increases egg production, reduces the risks of infections, allows them to heal faster if they are infected. You see, it's not like when you're closed in a place. When you're free, you can actually get fresh air, and even diseases are not rampant in that setup. One thing that you need to consider is, like I told you in my previous video, you need to have your compound fenced, because if you don't want diseases to spread from other neighbors' birds to your birds, you need to fence your compound and have it contained. Isolate your own birds from the rest of the birds. It's not an easy thing to do, but you have to. Like, we never used to have a fence, but now we have, and therefore we can have the birds with us. So, how much land do you need in order to homestead? I can comfortably say that I'm only using a quarter of my plot to keep my birds or to maintain them. Because if I have a small area where they can rest and feed and roam, and the other area is where I have put the chicken coop, then almost a quarter of the space is what I am actually using. Consider Cleaning your compound every now and then if you are letting them to be free range, because you also don't want them to be infected by eating that. Okay? When the chicken are free range, it means they are collecting a lot of worms from the environment. So make sure your compound is clean, and all the time make sure the chicken poo is well aerated and well kept. Fresh, clean drinking water, clean food are all things that you need to consider while you think about how much land you need. Consider having a place where you can put your food in a clean, cool, dry area where the food will not go bad or get rats feeding on it. Rodents are feeding on your feed, and also the birds, you're feeding them the same food. So you need a space for the storage area, a space for the free range chicken to walk around, a place for the chicken coop. Where do you put your nests? Look at it and consider all these things. That space, I want to come up with another chicken coop which we can use to brood the birds, the small ones that we will be taking very soon. So this portion we have set it aside for that, and I'm not going to put anything there for now. So, and I think this space is not very big. It's a very small space. It's not taking any space. I'll still have the rest of the area to utilize for my other activities in the compound. As you answer the question of how much space you need, like the strip you're seeing here, all the way there, the birds can walk around behind there, go behind the house, collect some food stuff, the green leaves from the plants that I have there. And, it is something that is satisfying for them. At the end of the day, it relieves them of the strain of being congested, and they are able to be free, okay, free and settled, and therefore more production of eggs. By the way, stress causes the birds not to lay eggs sometimes. As much as I don't want to mention it, I find this area small but adequate for my birds, because this is their feeding area, this is their resting area. So if you're looking at also setting a space aside, this size is enough. This size is enough. And if you have plants, the better, because they will provide the shade for the birds so that they don't have a lot of heat from the humidity and all that. Okay? Or for the sake of those who have not started this journey, mine will be to tell you that you need to have some good orientation skills so that your compound, is not crowded. Put your stuff towards one side and set the other section for your normal homestead items. You need a parking area, you need a wash up area, for instance. You need a place where you can do other chores that regard to poultry farming, washing the chicken drinkers and all that. So whatever you do, just make sure that you are orienting yourself in the right way so that you don't waste space, crowd everything in one place. Talking about space, then you need adequate space. Sorry for the noise, guys. Right from the entrance of your gate towards the parking area, you need adequate space because you don't want congestion, guys. Just make sure that you are arranging your small space in a way that there's still free movement everywhere around your homestead or around your compound. There is a way you can organize your space, vertically, like that extra store we have built up there. We have created it purposely because we want, when we do farming, we have a space to store our grains, we have a space to store our other stuff. So we have decided to make the place, upwards, not necessarily to occupy space down. So it's another way, it's another thing that you need to consider doing your stories, vertical. Do a floor up on top of the other instead of doing them just on the ground, so that you save on the space. For the backyard area, this is the amount of space I have between the house and the wall, and it is enough, guys. I will tell you, it is enough for the backyard chickens to roam around freely without any restrictions. And the air is circulating adequately. Some diseases also spread because of congestion, guys. So just make sure you have enough space moving around your compound and around your house so that the air goes in to the windows of the dining room, of the living room. Make sure you have adequate space around the homestead to allow for free air circulation. From afar, this is how much space for resting that you need for your birds and also for feeding. It's just a small corner, but it's adequate for all the birds. When they're feeding, you can't actually see they're congested. It is usually enough. From this viewpoint, that is the front yard of the house, and I think that space is adequate for most activities in the front area, and it's more than enough for me.